All right. All praises to the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Wamalak Yahweh Shai. All right. So today we're going to talk about who is Esau. All right. Who is Esau? This is long overdue. We've talked about Revelation, the 12th chapter. We talked about, that red dragon, the old serpent. But we talked about how that was indeed the so-called white man of today. But let's go back to the roots. Why is Esau the nation that the Most High has indignation for forever? Why does the Most High hate Esau? They don't tell you that in church. They tell you that God loves everybody, but it's stated explicitly that the Most High hates Esau. But why though? Let's dig into it. Let's go into the origins. Some of the things we're gonna cover is gonna be surface level, and then we're gonna get into some deeper aspects of how we're able to relate that today using the scriptures and also history and the signs that the Most High gave us, so we will know exactly who Esau is in these last days. All right, so we might as well start from the very top when Esau was conceived. So we could get the whole chapter. We just gonna start here at Genesis 25 and then verse 19.
All right. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 19. And it reads, "And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac."
All right, so we know that the blessed line that received the promises came through Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob. Jacob being Israel, his name was changed to Israel. So let's keep that in mind. Keep going.
Verse 20, "And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel and Salakia, the Syrian of Pandanaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian.
All right, keep going.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived."
Okay, so we know that Rebekah, which is Isaac's wife, she's not pregnant. So let's keep going.
Verse 22, "And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord."
Okay, so it says children instead of child. So we know Rebekah has, what we're about to find out here in this next verse, she has twins, all right, together within her. And she went to inquire of the Lord. Now, one thing I just want to add really quickly, just a quick side note. A lot of times we see in the quote unquote Old Testament, inquiring of the Lord, and just a preview, and the Lord said unto her. This is not saying that the Most High is literally talking directly to Rebekah. So we see here, let's get 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 9.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 9 and verse 9. "Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High, thus he spoke, Come, and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer."
Okay, so when you see inquire of the Most High, that means that that person went to a prophet to inquire of the situation from the Most High, and the Most High delivered that word to the prophet that they were speaking to, or seer, to deliver that word. So they weren't talking to the Most High directly. All right, so that's just a quick aside, and we have to add that because a lot of times you can get confused of why in those days were people talking directly to the Most High, but they really weren't. All right, so they still had to inquire of a prophet, and it was probably Abraham at this time where they went to inquire of the Lord too. So the Most High deals with his prophets, the prophets that we read about here in the scriptures. Just want to add that real quick, just quick aside. We can go to verse 23 now.
This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger.
All right. So Rebekah has twins, but they are two different manners of people, two nations of people. All right. So you really have to digest that. All right. Normally, when you have twins, of course, they'd be brothers or brothers and sisters, right? Which is still true in this case, but they're not going to be two different nations of people. You won't have, one Elamite than one Moabite. It's normally going to be the same nation, but the Most High is telling us directly here that these two children will be two separate people. All right, and one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. That's also very important because at these times, the elder always received the birthright, and it would normally be the younger that would serve the elder. That's why it's stated here, because this is actually, this is different. All right, so let's keep going.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
All right, so there were twins. All right, keep going.
And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
So the first came out red. So that means that Esau was the elder. The elder shall serve the younger. All right, one people shall be stronger than the other people. We're about to see who that is in a second here. But now, one thing I want to point out here is that if you read throughout the scriptures, we get sometimes vague hints on how the characteristics of how our forefathers looked at that time. But normally you don't get a description like this. Now this says the first came out red. Nobody else in the scriptures are referred to as coming out red. Some things that you need to think about is, what do you call the so-called white man, that lives here in the South? We talked about this before. What do you call him? A redneck. All right. When they get mad, what do? They blush and turn what? Red. All right. All over like a hairy garment. Nobody else is described to be hairy all over except for this man, Esau. All right. But we're going to come way stronger than that. That's just, this is just base stuff for right now. But we're going to get way more evidence than that to support this claim. But keep going.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
All right. So his brother came out and took his hand, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. One thing that we have to understand is that these things are being told us for a very specific reason. Okay. All right. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. Isaiah 46 and 9. And keep going through verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 9. And it reads, remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me.
Quick aside, there is no other Most High. There is no other God. There's nobody else hanging out, chilling somewhere else that the Most High don't know about. They not splitting 50-50 with nobody else or a bunch of other gods and things like that. He is the only one. All right, the Alpha and Omega. All right. A lot of people read this and they think that it's referring to Yahweh or Christ, but that literally makes no sense. This is just referring to an omnipresent God, the another creator. All right, there's nobody else that created everything in existence except for the Most High, and there's none like him. And Yahweh Shai tell you that all the time. You know, in the Gospels, he tells you that, you know, it's none like the Most High. So he supports that, but keep on. That was just a quick aside.
Verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Okay, declaring the end from the beginning. That's how prophecy works. Okay, the Most High can see every single event, everything that's going to transpire. And not only does he know everything that's going to happen in the end, he can see everything all in between from point A to point Z. And in the scriptures, a lot of times we get the end part. We don't know exactly how we're going to get there, but he's already seen it. So he gives us these prophecies here in the scriptures. But the reason that we're going here is because we're reading about a lot of declarations from the end, well, about the end from the beginning, because this is the book of Genesis, right? This is the first book of the Bible, but we get a lot of end time prophecies right here. All right. For another thing that I didn't mention, so we see that, let's go back up to verse 22. The children struggled together within her. Now, what two nations of people struggle together no matter what, and has, you know, pretty much from the beginning of time? Who always getting into it? Every time you look on the news, it's always a constant battle of racism between so-called Black and white people at all times. It's Trump supporters against so-and-so and white against Black all the times. This was a prophecy within itself here. All right, the children struggle together within her. It may feel like this is just something that goes on in the US, but other nations and other countries, they know about this struggle between the so-called Black and white man as well. All right, that was also a prophecy and a hint to us, so we know exactly what's going on. So, you know, we have to keep that in mind. All right, now, and after, back to verse 26 here, and after that came his brother out, and he took his hand, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. This is also a future prophecy on how Jacob would subdue Esau. We're going to talk more about that later, though. His name was called Jacob, or the supplanter. All right. And Isaac was three score years old when she bare them. All right, now let's get verse 26, because it seemed like every verse is giving you a really deep prophecy. It's simple, but it's deep, man.
Verse 27.
Let's get it.
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
You see, deep. Esau was a cunning hunter. All right, the word cunning is not a good word to be described by. All right. I got this pulled up real quick. Cunning. Let's see. what Esau describing himself as. All right, having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit or evasion. Esau was a cunning hunter by deceit or evasion. Who do you know is the most deceitful man on planet Earth? Without a close second. All right, we were talking today about how, like for example, the CDC director, whatever her name, Rochelle Lewinsky, whatever her name is, she came out earlier this year and said that if you take the vaccine, you would not get the virus, you wouldn't be able to carry it, and you wouldn't get sick. She had to have known that that was a complete and utter lie. But these people rule by deceit. They said all of those things to have people rush out and get the vaccine, to get those early goers to get it, so they can build momentum up and get more and more people to get it. And then by the time they figured out that it wasn't what it's all cracked out to be, it's already too late. Now you already got 2 shots and a booster. All right. So, this is all still base level. We're going to come with much stronger evidence than this, but still just something to think about. And a hunter. So a hunter, you could be referring to here just hunting, deer and things of that nature, like venison, like Esau loved venison. But also you could be a hunter of men. All right. So that's something to think about. Like Nimrod here in the scriptures was referred to as a hunter. But the Most High didn't put that in there to say that he was, he was good at hunting. He was a hunter of men. He was taking men away from the Most High. All right. Over there in the Tower of Babel, where all nations gathered to protest, in a lack of better terms, apostasy, rather, of the Most High, because they didn't want to keep the statute, laws, and commandments, so they wanted to do their own thing. And that's how Esau was. Esau just can't get right. That's what we're going to read about. He just can't get right, man. And a man of the field. Man, who was a man of the field, man? So-called black man might mix it up and go outside and do some stuff, but who just love going outside and that's just their environment? The so-called white man.
That's right.
That's their environment, man. They love going outside and hunting and just being out there, man. That's them. And what we're gonna read about and what we're gonna come to understand is that these people you see today are nothing but civilized cave dwellers. All right, it sounds like I'm sensationalizing that, but it's just the truth.
So
Con.
I got a precept.
What you got?
Lamentations 4 and verse 18. Lamentations 4 and 18.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 18. And it reads, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. It's like it. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
So this is pretty much going into what the brother brought out about Esau hunting men too. They are hunting our steps every day.
Great point. And we could keep going in that too, and it's still,
Right.
Bringing out the point. Give verse 19 too.
Verse 19, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
So our persecutors are swifter than the eagles. What's the symbol of America, the animal symbolic of this country?
The eagle, the bald eagle.
The bald eagle.
Evil.
Right. That's right.
Hey, brother, you see why I said predictive programming earlier too? When I wrote you that, this is what I was talking about. Go ahead, Op.
Oh, I didn't. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, con. Okay, cool. Old daughter of Edom. So you see, this is about the brother was just pulling something that had nothing to do with Esau. This is about Esau.
That's right.
All right. So absolutely though, back to Genesis. So all of this is, just hints, prophetic hints per se to let us know exactly what's going on. These are things you have to consider. You want to read over this. In the church system, they have you thinking that, Genesis and, pretty much all the books in the quote unquote Old Testament, except for in Malachi 3, where you talk about tithes, everything is just irrelevant. And when you do that, you're going to miss over, some deep prophecy to help you understand what's going on today and why it's going on. Because we're going to talk about that. We're going to relate this all together. Why does the Most High hate Esau? We need to know that answer. So let's keep going.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did not eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Isaac did love Esau. Well, if he would have known. All right. Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me." Let's skip down to. Matter of fact, no. Let's just get 29. Let's keep going. Read all the way through.
Verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Sod is like boiling. So Jacob was whipping some pottage. Esau came from the field because that's his habitat, and he was faint. Keep going.
And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom.
His name was called Edom. Now look here now. Red pottage, even though Jacob is the one, with the pottage here, this was not put here by accident. Red pottage. All right, we're going to see that symbol of red over and over when it comes to Esau. And that's why in the book of Revelation, we know what's going on. All right, everything is going to link up. Keep going.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright."
All right, keep going.
And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?"
See, it shows you how carnal Esau is. Now, this man was just hungry and he gave up his birthright. Now, again, what we talked about with birthrights, this is not a light thing. In the ancient world, your birthright was everything. That's your inheritance. All right, you have you and your stock, your family, your house. You have you had your plot of land, you got your livestock, so on and so forth. And you want that passed down to you from your father. You're the firstborn. That's your right in your inheritance. So this is not a light thing to sell your birthright. All right, it's not at all. This is a huge deal that Esau is doing just because he faint and hungry. That's pathetic, to be honest.
Salah.
Khan.
Hey, and it also goes like into these like common phrases that we use to represent being hungry, saying that we are starving. You are not on starving. You are just hungry. This is the same thing Esau teaches.
Khan. Exactly. He out there. I'm weak. I'm starving. I'm about to die. Boy, about 2 hours ago or something.
Right.
Soft. All right. Let's get a little bit on birthrights. All right, let's get First Chronicles chapter 5 and verse 1.
It's the book of First Chronicles, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel. And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright.
All right, we'll get the point. We'll elaborate on the point after verse 2. Read that.
Verse 2, for Judah prevailed above his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler, but the birthright was Joseph's.
Okay, so you see, Reuben was the firstborn of Israel, or Jacob. All right, but he defiled his father's bed by sleeping with one of his father's concubines. So his birthright was given away. We see this actually over and over. A lot of times in the scriptures, the firstborn ended up going off. I don't know why the firstborn just couldn't get right, man. But I just grabbed this so you can see in the scriptures where you were given a inheritance or a birthright from being the firstborn. So this is a big deal. Esau just gave it away for some pottage. All right, you read about nobody else doing anything even close to that. All right.
Hey, I want to add something in there, just going off of that, with the birthrights. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but with our people now realize, with the true people, what they're doing now is basically trying to go in and say, how Jacob was deceitful, and basically tricking Esau in the birthright. But just piggybacking off of what you said, with that is how when certain things are done, that birthright is given to maybe the eldest son. And a lot of things that people don't understand is that regardless if whether Esau had received the birthright or not, it was already prophesied before they were even born that Jacob was going to be the chosen.
Exactly. There's no mistakes. It's not like, the Most High, oh snap, I ain't mean to let Esau give up his birthright. Godly. I guess I don't know. Maybe this is just a rough draft. Genesis is just a rough draft. I guess I'll do my final copy later. So submit that in later. There's no mistakes. This was absolutely prophesied already because the Most High knew that Esau could not get right. He could not get right. This was the beginning of his wickedness here. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse all the way up until today. All right, keep going. I believe we're on verse 33.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
He sold his birthright. Disgusting. Keep going.
Verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went on his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
You see, it's already, this dude just came out, verse 25, man. He already wrecking havoc, man. He already going off. Man. He didn't gave up his birthright. Now he despising it. So therefore he despising his heritage, his family line. But it's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse. All right. Now let's get some more backstory. We building all of this up because, when we talk about Esau, when we talk about the so-called white man, it's not just because of everything that he's done here in modern history. This goes all the way back to the days of old, man. You got to truly understand what this man has done, from the beginning and what he continues to do. And that's why the Most High not dealing with him. He's seen all this. Of course, he's seen it. Y'all know what I'm saying. Like he he's already seen everything this man is going to do. That's why he's not dealing with him. You know, but Jacob, I loved, and Esau, I hated. All right, of course, we're going to grab that later. Now, let's go to Genesis 27. And we're going to kind of skip through because this is like, what, 40, 50, 46 verses long. We're not going to get all of it for the sake of time, but let's just start at verse 1.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am.
Okay, so Isaac was old. He called forth to Esau and came. Keep going.
And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death.
You keep going.
Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out into the field and take me some venison.
Okay.
And make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die.
Okay, so Isaac is wax old. He wants savory meat before he dies. All right, keep going.
Verse 5, and Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it.
Okay, so Rebekah is about to intercede here. Keep going.
Verse 6, and Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying,
okay,
bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 8, now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee.
Okay, we're about to get a point here in verse 9. Keep going.
Go now to the flock and fetch me thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth.
Okay, so actually we're gonna get down to read to verse 11, 10 and then 11.
Verse 10, and thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man.
You know, Jacob is a smooth man. All right. Esau is a hairy man. And that's something that we didn't touch on there in chapter 25. It said that Esau was a cunning hunter, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in his tent. Now, who that sound like? So-called black man just like dwelling in his tent, man.
Just smooth, huh?
Just smooth. Smooth, dwelling in his tent. Minding his business for the most part, man. He like to get a little thrill, but he like to go right back in his tent, man. He made a little move and he back in his tent chilling. A plain man, not hard to please. All right, don't need thrills. You don't need to go outside and go hunt 30 antelopes and 20 deers with a knife and a doggone rifle and a quiver. You know, you ain't got to go out there to the Amazon and go find new animals and all that. Jacob, he got to do all that, man. It's a plain man. Who did that sound like? These things that you have to consider. But what we dealing with here in Genesis 27 and 11, we see again, Esau is a hairy man. All right. And Jacob is a smooth man. So he's trying to see how can he obey his mother's command to be able to supplant Esau's request. Well, Isaac's request to Esau to supplant that and him bring the venison to his father. All right, because we know that this man is hairy all over. All right, so let's get the point here, what I wanted to bring out. All right, let's get verse 16.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 16. And it reads, and she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon his smooth, and upon the smooth of his neck.
So kids of goats, that's literally a child goat. And then that was put on his hands so that way when Isaac felt his hands, he would think it was Esau. Now you have to pay attention to this as well. You can't just read over it and think it's nothing going on here. All right, so you see that the animal used here was a goat. A goat. There's two things important about the goat to understand. One, a goat has always been symbolized for sin. All right, it's one of the main animals that's used in sin offerings here in the scriptures. And also the texture of a goat is different from a texture of a sheep. All right, a goat is hairy, rough. It's different from a sheep, which is woolly. But the reason I say this is important because we're going to see that Esau is directly tied to the goat. So this was no coincidence that, that Rebekah used the goat skin on Jacob to quote unquote deceive Isaac. All right, so we'll jump down. We'll jump down here, verse 19.
So Esau basically got Esau.
He got Esau. Exactly.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 19. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
Okay, so this is actually Jacob. He's saying he's Esau. He's doing his mother's commandment. All right. And where did she get that from? The Most High, obviously. She didn't just pull that out of nowhere. Right. So again, we have to keep in mind that goat skin was used. All right. So let's skip down here. Let's just go ahead and go to the blessing. All right, let's get verse 26 and then read on down.
Verse 26, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son.
All right, keep going.
And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see the smell of my son as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed.
See, smell like a field. And speaking of smell, do you know another texture that is similar, well, at least some of these animals, that's similar with a goat? A dog.
Oh.
Exactly. Who has, since you can remember, has always been likened to smelling like a wet dog?
Esau.
You think these small things like this doesn't matter, but I promise you it does. It's vital to understanding who Esau is and who he is today. Because we're going to see, like, we're going to talk about the dog too. We're going to talk about that. Keep going.
Verse 28, therefore the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Okay,
so another thing to mention here, Isaac is blessing Jacob. All right, so before Isaac, he's about to pass away, he's blessing his son, Jacob, who he thinks is Esau, and he can't see, so that's why he's going by what he could feel. His eyes were dim because of his age. We read that as well. So this is Jacob's blessing. All right, read that in verse 29.
Verse 29, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. The scriptures are not about equality. It's about rulership. All right, this Bible is not about everybody getting together and everything is all good. It's just not. That's what people's feelings lead them to believe, but that's not what's actually written here. It says nations bow down to thee. This is Jacob's future, for nations to be, to bow down to him, for people to serve thee, to be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Who's his mother's son? Esau. All right. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. There's one main nation of people that's known to be the cursed one. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee. All right. Now let's just pull that. Go ahead, Al.
And even if you look in history, there's never been equality at any point in history. Every, kingdom had rulership. Like there's never been equality. Like that doesn't even make sense. If you take scriptures out and just look at all the nations, there's always been, one top nation at some point, ruling over everybody.
That's always how it's been. Always. Even the countries that have what they claim to be communism, where it's supposed to be, everybody is all equal. No, that means 90% of the people are all, under one income, one standard, while the other, 1 to 10% are living way above everybody else. That's what communism is for, is to get everybody in a lower state, and those that are in the elite of that society to have the fatness of the earth. You making, $20,000 a year, and they over there billionaires. The discrepancy there is huge. That's why they want communism in this society. It's not so, they can be quote unquote equal with everybody so they can eat. They're trying to destroy the middle class. They want you to be either poor, which is most of everybody, want everybody to be poor, or everybody else. Everybody else to be, that's not the poor, that's part of the elite. They want, they want to be rich. That's what this is all about, man. Everything else is just deceit, it's cunning. All right, subterfuge. All right, now just to talk about the cursed ones, let's get Isaiah 34 and 5.
All right. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
The people of my curse is Idumea. That's just the Greek word for Edom. Okay, that's the people of the curse. All right, to this day. And we're going to get more, concerning these prophecies, but I just wanted to grab that real quick because it does say, cursed be everyone that curseth thee. And who curseth thee? Esau. All right. Now we're going to see how Esau took this, because basically, he had his blessing taken away from him. He went out to go hunt, and Jacob came in and received that blessing that was quote unquote supposed to go to Esau, but it never would have happened. It never would have happened. It was supposed to happen this way. It was prophesied to happen this way. All right. So let's get verse 30 and see how Esau took it.
All right. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting.
Okay. And let's get verse 32. Skip down one verse.
Verse 32. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
Keep going.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that have taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
Keep going.
And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father.
Keep going.
And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing.
So this is Esau. He panicking because he came back in from hunting. He was about out there too long. You know, he ain't no telling what he was really out there doing. You know, if he got ears to hear. But anyway, all right. So he came back. Now he panicking because his blessing was taken away. Now keep going.
Verse 36. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these two times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
Well, he didn't take away your birthright. You gave it to him, or you sold it to him. But anyway, again, he's just panicking. We're about to get to the point, though. Keep going.
Verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
The blessing is already gone. All right. And Esau is just figuring this out. Now, the reason that we going through all of this is because I want to build up the foundation so we see exactly why Esau, when I say Esau, I'm talking about here and today, is still ticked off. All right. Whether we understand this or not, the people that really control this society, not Biden, we talking about 10 steps above Biden and everybody else they have on TV that are just the puppets, that are placeholders. All right. The real shakers and movers, they don't get on TV. You know nothing about them for real. Those are the Rothschilds and so on and so forth, the ruling classes of planet Earth. Those people, they understand the scriptures from the standpoint of who they are. They know that they are Esau. They're still bitter about this today, believe it or not. Okay, this is not a light thing that we're reading right now. They still ticked off about this. You know, they mad about the birthright. All right, and that's why they target so-called Black people so much, because they understand who we are as well. All right, that's why we building up this foundation. So we have to understand that it's deeper than, just a birthright being taken away and a blessing being taken away. All right, because just picture that, you understand you have all type of historic artifacts, things of that nature. You know for a fact that you are Esau according to the Bible. And then you read this. How would you feel? You know what I mean? Thank the Lord that nobody listening to this is, an Edomite. But just think about it. You probably be mad too. All right, if you read, wow, so you just gonna make him Lord over me? My blessing was taken away. That's what's going on, man. You seen the so-called white man lash out. He mad, man. And besides, it's just in him to be wicked anyway. All right, it's just in him to be that way that he is. He can't help it. It's just like a dog. It's gonna bark. He gonna kind of run around, chase his tail and scratch and, do stuff that dogs do. That's what Esau, that's just what he gonna do. Is in his nature to be cunning and to be wicked and deceitful. It's just what he gonna do. All right, now let's get Esau's blessing in verse 40 here.
Con.
Genesis. Good. You got something?
Oh no, I just said con. Like I said, that's why the Most High said that the nation of Esau is the only nation that has to be done away with, because even if you just leave one they'll still find a way to be wicked and go off.
Even if you left one of them. Exactly. Keep going.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 40. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
So now he's being told he's going to serve thy brother. Okay. This happened once in what they call the Dark Ages in Europe for around 1,000 years. But it's going to happen again in the kingdom until they destroy, that is, after 1,000 years. And if that sounds like a mouthful, it's okay, because we're going to get on, we're going to touch on all of that. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. That's what's happening right now. All right. So-called white man, for the most part, put us into slavery, which is fulfilling his prophecy. When Esau has dominion, he shall break his yoke from off of thy neck. All right, again, these are not light things going on here. All right, this is future prophecy, because, and one thing too that needs to be said is that when you truly understand that the Bible is not a book of fantasies and this is an actual history book, then you start to understand, the deeper meanings of the scriptures, because now you see, oh, okay, this really happened. There really was an Esau, there really was a Jacob. All right, these are real events taking place that actually, heavily influences what's going on right now today. All right, so this was Esau's blessing, to live by the sword. Who always got a war going on, man. Always trying to fight and kill somebody. That's the sword. Esau lived by the sword, man. That's what he gonna do. You leave him alone long enough, man, he gonna come up with a new nuke. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come up with a new war, come up with a reason to beef with somebody. It's just what he do. He lived by the sword, man. But how's the saying go? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. All right, so that's most of what I wanted to touch on here in Genesis 27. Now we're gonna kind of get into more of the in the next lesson we will, but we'll start touching on it now. We built up the foundation. We've seen why Esau, or at least two of the major reasons why he's still mad today, and why the Most High not dealing with him. Because after this, he tried to kill. Where does it say? Proposing to kill thee. He tried to kill God's chosen son, which is Jacob. So, it makes sense that the Most High would hate somebody that tried to kill his chosen son, which is Jacob or Israel. So Esau got mad. He tried to kill him after this. So that's another thing he went off on. Now let's get Genesis 36 and then read verse 1 and then skip down to verse 8.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 36 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
Salaki, let me that was verse 41. Right here. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. You see, that's how he is. He always trying to slay somebody, trying to slay his own brother. Who that sound like? Cain. That same type of spirit that was on Cain is on Esau. All right, you get verse 8.
Time. Book of Genesis, chapter 36 and verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Now, we're going to start talking about, how do we know who Esau is? Now, Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. First of all, what is the the political term for a quote unquote white person today? What would you call them? A Caucasian. But where does that word even come from? The Caucasus Mountains. All right. These are not the Caucasus Mountains. These are two different places, Mount Seir and the Caucasus Mountains, but it's the same concept. It's a mountain with caves. Esau is a cave dweller, man. That's why, brothers shouldn't be going back and forth or worried about no caveman. It is what it is. But while we got a little bit of time left, let's talk about what this word right here, Mount Seir, what Seir means. All right, Seir, hairy, shaggy. All right. Remember we talked about that. This is Esau's dwelling place because he was hairy all over, or shaggy. Isn't that on Scooby-Doo? Isn't a cat that loves Scooby? Ain't his name Shaggy? Or am I tripping? What's his name? Shaggy?
Shaggy.
Yeah, yeah, con.
Dang, that's a good observation right there.
And he loved a dog, which is also Shaggy. All right. This is all prophecy taking place. So you'll know who the so-called white man is today. All right, let's get Shaggy. Shaggy hair or fur, long, thick, and unkempt. Okay, the mountain goat has a long, shaggy coat. The so-called white man is likened to a goat, a mountain goat. All right, this is, again, it's all links together. This is what I was talking about earlier. Now look at this. Tim Allen is Disney's The Shaggy Dog. You think things like this, this just looks like a regular little innocent little movie cover here. One thing you notice, so look at this. I guess this is supposed to be a tie leash. I don't know. My boy, hey man, got a lot of slack on them. But anyway, what they trying to show you is that they're connected. You see this? That's why he got this on. Like little stuff like this is them letting you know that they know who they really are. All right. And I had where is that? Let's see. On another cover art of this movie here, the shaggy one, which is Esau, the picture, let me just pull it up. The shaggy dog. Oh no, it went 59 with it. Now look at this. What they trying to show you? They one and the same, man. They like a dog, a shaggy dog. Esau is shaggy. He is Edom. All right. Again, you don't want to sleep on stuff like this. This is them letting you know who they are, because they put stuff in movies all the time. All right.
It's a lot. That's why they came out with the Flintstones as well.
To let you know they were cavemen. When you ever seen a so-called black caveman before? I've never seen one. Even they show you that they only cavemen. I've never seen a black caveman before. They letting you know that that's them. All right. Mount Seir, shaggy, rough. Okay. Now we got a lot more. You see all these tabs and stuff pulled up. We got a lot more to get to, because again, we're gonna come a lot stronger than some of the things we were saying. We're just warming up. So next lesson, we're gonna talk more about, how do we know who Esau is today? All right, through the scriptures and also through just little hints like that we have where they telling their side of the story of who they really are. Again, back to this real quick. You see the Tim Allen is literally inside of the dog. They let you know that they one and the same. You never see a so-called black man inside of a dog like this or being likened so much to a dog. I had somebody tell me that he loved his dog, a so-called white man. He told me he loved his dog more than most of his family. They're really connected to the dog. It's what they call a spiritual animal. Because they liken the same, they smell the same, they vow the same way, eat trash. Same thing, man. Why they love them so much. But we'll go ahead and conclude for today, and then tomorrow we'll get more evidence on who is Esau.
Excellent.
Excellent.